Hey guys, I'm Rohan and welcome to my channel. Now we're doing a gameplay of Little Nightmares Part 2, Chapter 2, The School. So far in the game, we found Mono in the wilderness with a single television set. We escaped a couple of traps and found ourselves in the hunter's cabin where Mono found this little girl who we don't know who she is yet, but we eventually will. And together the two of them escape from the hunter before eventually blowing him off with his own shotgun in an epic, incredible scene. And they took a raft and drifted on to the Pale City, and now they're gonna find themselves in the school where they will come up against the teacher and the bullies. One of the interesting things about the AI in this game is that you often lose her and you have to find creative ways to get her back. And that's what we're doing now. She lent him a hand so he could get through the door, but she has no way of getting through just yet. So he's gonna have to find a way to get her back. This game makes really good use of puzzles. So this is a departure from the first game that you can lose an AI friend of yours, that you're not completely alone in this otherwise desolate world, and you can call out to her and collaborate on puzzles together. That thing you just saw was a shadow child. They'll be available throughout this game in discrete locations and you can collect them. But the true significance of what they actually are is pretty scary and terrifying and sad, and we won't really understand its significance until much, much later. So whenever you find those TVs, you find one of them in each level. You have to um, turn your controller around, up, left, right, or down, until you see something happening, until you can see the TV being tuned, and stick to it. And And you will always see him run towards that door, which at this point means nothing to you. You don't know what this TV means, you don't know what that vision means, none of it means anything to you at this point. You're just doing it. But you will eventually realize its meaning in chapter 4 and chapter 5, and I promise you it's going to be a very, very fulfilling and satisfying conclusion. Alright, so this is a school. They should not be entering the school, but they don't know it just yet. Or maybe they do. These kids seem to love trouble. So out here, You notice that the moment you turn the lever up, all the lights go down, but there's light coming through this painting, and that only means one thing. There's a light source behind the painting, which probably means that there is a crack in the wall that you can now use to your advantage. So you come over here to this room, you pick up some solid object that you can hurl at the painting, and that's what you do. See? The moment you do that, the painting falls down and there's an opening behind it. Out here, I mean, it might be tempting to breeze through the game and exercise, but you should take some time to notice that there are torture instruments in the background. There's a chair out here, and there are scratches on the wall that denote days. And that means that someone out here has been tortured for several days. What you just saw was the silhouette of the teacher. This game does a really good job of like setting up stakes and foreshadowing things before actually the release. So whenever you see these raised wooden planks, that's an indication that it's a trap and you should like slow down. Those are the remains of one of this level's antagonists, the bullies. Again, you see a raised wooden plank out there. Brothers, steer clear of that. So the bullies are clearly mischievous and they like to set up traps. Alright, there's another raised wooden plank out there. Another one here. These bullies are clearly up to mischief. Alright, so they've taken away her friend somewhere, and we're gonna be pretty alone through a lot of this game now. So this is another departure from the original game where he can actually pick up the wrenches and objects to attack people. He's not very effective at attacks, and that's realistic, and he has to really struggle to like drag this anyway. But it's something. It adds a little something to the game. I do think the attacks are the weakest parts of this game, but they're still a welcome relief. So there's a lock here, which means we need to find a key. So now you're gonna see the teacher for good. So something about the teacher, she's extremely attentive. Oh no, see what I mean? She's extremely attentive. Okay, there's a way I'm gonna make it out of here. So the teacher is extremely attentive, and you can't just sneak past her easily. You have to stay low, hide behind other students and objects, and not make any noise. And she's only ever really distracted when she's writing something on that wall. So you have to make your move when she's, writing on the chalkboard. You have to be extremely quiet and extremely patient. The teacher is honestly the most terrifying part of this game. I think also because it delves into so many tactile childhood fears. Fear of school, fear of teachers. Alright, we've reached the next section. So there's a key out there, we need to grab that. But the moment we do, the library starts tipping over. So we've got to hide before the teacher can come in. I swear to God, I've got goosebumps running up and down my arms right now. She's literally the most terrifying creature in the school. And the funny thing is that other than her neck, she seems like just a normal teacher, and that's probably the most terrifying thing of them all. And now I have to get past the teacher again. Just the way she smacks her ruler on the desk, it just gives me all kinds of PTSD. I mean, I grew up in a boarding school and I hated the teachers back there. But I mean, I didn't hate all the teachers, but some of them certainly. And look at how she stares down at her pupils, taunting them. And in this part, it's really hard to get away undetected, so you have to be really patient. If you try to make a run for it, she's just gonna get you with her freakishly long neck. Okay, I think I've made it out. Whew. Okay, that was terrifying. I do not want to go through that all over again. Okay, there's a kid out here. He's writing on the chalk. He's wearing a hat. He's got a leash. Now, here's the interesting thing. These chalk markings, they denote the extent of his movements. if you run too far, he's temporarily incapacitated, and that's your chance to get this crowbar or pipe or whatever it is. But like, poor kid, it's not his fault he's trapped amongst monsters. Do you hear that noise? It sounds like the teacher is smacking something. Oh no, you gotta hide. Good. Okay. Her freakishly long neck is gonna come up again. She's gonna search for someone. And when she doesn't find Mono, she's gonna go down again. And she's gonna start smacking again. What are your theories on what she's smacking? I mean, it sounds like she's smacking meat, but I think she might be smacking one of her students in a form of discipline. I'm gonna just hold this up here and keep it here and climb up over here. Like, just the sound of smacking is just so terrifying because, like, this form of punishment still happens in so many schools, like everywhere, and it's just, yeah, I mean, they don't really need to stray too far away from like real world, like childhood terrors to find something that's truly terrifying. Okay, we're in the library now. Well, I mean, say what you want about the school, at least they care about books and literature and education. And they seem to have a pretty like well-stacked library. Gotta give them that. Credit where credit's due. Okay, the book's falling off, which means she's alert and she's gonna continue now. So at this part, the only way to escape her is to slide through that area. You can't go unnoticed. Oh no, she got me. Alright, I'm gonna try this again. Again, patience. You've got to be patient. Alright, you gotta hide from her. She doesn't see anything wrong. And she goes through that door. Okay, now we're clear. So there's a bit of a puzzle in this scene. There's a lock which means we need a key, of course. And so this game is really good at puzzles, and whenever something like this happens, it's always best to take a look around and explore all the possible areas and sceneries. Another shadow kid. Before deciding what to do. Because it's only once you have the larger picture and know what your end goal is that you can actually work towards it. And that's really true in this game. You always need to know what you're doing instead of just doing things randomly. Alright, so there's a chessboard here. Some pieces out there, which means we need to figure out some kind of a chess thing. If you open this painting here, you will see a description of the chess game. Those white chess pieces, they indicate how the top of the chess pieces should be. So you can take the tops off and, you know, change them around, and you have to use that painting or like that chalkboard diagram as a guideline for where each of the pieces should go. So we have one piece there. The second piece is lying here. And the third piece is over there. So we're gonna place this piece here, use it as a platform, jump across, grab this piece. I think it's a bishop or maybe the queen. I think it's a bishop. I'm not sure, like, please don't ask me about, like, I'm probably not accurate at all in describing my chess pieces, but alright, we'll call this like cross piece, like the bishop, I guess. And this goes here. The queen is supposed to go out here. And this flat platform is supposed to go over here. Again, I do not know anything about chess. Please don't come at me. Alright, that worked. And now, we use this as a lever. Those doors slide open. We find our key. Another departure. And before we leave this game, I just want to like bring your focus to this piece, the one here in the center. This is supposed to represent the king, and instead of the top or the traditional top of the chess piece, they have the head of one of those porcelain bullies screwed onto this game with a crown on its head. That's insanely freaky, and the fact that they do something like that to their own, one can only imagine what they'd do to Mono if they caught him. I mean, I was terrified of bullies back in school. I grew up in a boarding school and there were a lot of bullies back there. I didn't get the worst of it. There were people who got it far, far worse than me, but I have a deep-seated like fear of bullies, and this game really brings that out. Alright, so there's a leader out there and another porcelain kid, and I can see a couple more porcelain kids, so this is going to be an action-packed sequence. So you've got to time it just right. You have to time it as they make that little squealing sound. They make this little squealing sound just before they strike, and that's when you have to strike before they can pounce. And it's always better to let them come at you instead of going to them. It lets you prepare more. Alright, I got all of them. So if you go down here, you will see that there are like dozens of other kids out here. There's no way you can take them all out with a ladle. And I just happened across it by accident, but you can actually take off his hat and wear this porcelain kid's hat instead, his head, and get through the game pretending to be one of them. This part is terrifying. I mean, just look at this kid. God, I hope he didn't break his porcelain head. I mean, like, Mono, dude, like, seriously, like, could you be any more conspicuous holding your head like that? No. Like, just, yeah. Alright, and now you gotta watch out for that little pot up there, because if you go too soon, the pot will hit you on the head and you'll be done for. Look at what those kids are doing to that poor girl's eyes. Alright, please don't get me. And he's got his paper bag back on. Now you have to find something to hit that little button out there. Okay, a lot of balancing in this section, which I hate. I'm terrible at balancing. Gonna spin. Oh shit. Yeah, I didn't grab that rope well enough, so I'm gonna have to do it all over again. Alright, now you gotta make him swing. Steer him clear from the tube light wires. And get across. Now you see a little jar with what looks like a brain in here. Toss it down on the floor. Grab hold of this hook and get down. Alright, so there's the brain. And now you're gonna toss this brain at the little button to set it off. Like just who comes up with this? Alright, she's been alerted to your presence, so you gotta get under here. I don't know what she's doing, like some kind of a science experiment, some kind of like, I honestly don't know, but whatever it is, it's considering the brain in that can out there, it's, yeah, I do not want to find out. Alright, so once she goes through the door, that's your cue to get up and follow her. I mean, what is it with this kid always following like danger everywhere? Alright, so in this particular scene you have to climb up these areas, stay in the shadows of these little bottles, and go from one end to the other while she's not looking and has her back turned. Oh no. Again, I was too impatient. This game does not reward impatience. You should really know that. Every time you try to take a shortcut, they're gonna get you. Alright, she's not looking now. I can go. And now. And now. Okay, just stay down. Alright, made it. Again, you have to be really patient with this game, especially with her, because she's insanely attentive unless she's doing something like, I mean, she might be terrifying, but you have to give her this. She's clearly a really good teacher because she's very attentive at her task. The only time she isn't distracted is when she's doing something. So you've got to wait for them to start taunting before you make your attack, otherwise you're gonna be too soon. And you have to attack as soon as they start taunting and like release that yell. Alright, got them both. And I think that's a trap over there. Yeah. Alright, there are a couple more bullies out there. They've got our little friend. Getting the bullies is also really difficult because the camera angle makes combat really difficult here. This is not the best way to like, just like letting you know, this is not the best way to like let someone down off a ceiling when they're like head first, because you can literally drop to your on your head and like crack your skull open. So not a great idea, Mono, but 6 clearly seems to have... Oh, sorry, I just let out a spoiler. Yeah, that's supposed to be 6. You'll find out soon enough. 6 clearly has like a head made of steel or titanium or something because she survived that fall. I'm really glad I got her though, like going through this game without her was like even lonelier somehow. Alright, so we're back to group activities. Out here, we're gonna have to crank this lever. And then jump on this piano in a synchronized manner, similar to how we've done before. You have to time your move jumps at the same time. Now she's gonna give him a hand over there. Alright, so the porcelain kid out there will be distracted when our friend starts playing the piano, and that gives you an opportunity to grab the pipe and get her. Okay, so grab this pipe and get through this door. And we need a key. There's a key here. Okay, so there's another kid out there, and there's a hammer on the other side. Now keep a close eye on your friend there, because she's gonna do something really surprising and shocking. Yep, she's going after him all on her own, and she snapped his neck off. That's what you get for like stringing her up in the bathroom. She's not gonna let bullies get away so easy. Yep, that's the 6 I know. If you played game 1, you know that 6 can be, well, yeah, she's not one to get bullied easy, and she's gonna go after people. So, good for you, 6. Alright, we hear piano playing. I mean, say what you want about the school and the teachers and the bullies. They really care about education and the arts. They have a lot of books in their library. They have piano playing out here. Yep, they care about the arts. That's more than you can say for a lot of schools. We're about to enter what's, I believe, my favorite scene in this particular chapter, perhaps even the whole game. And my favorite puzzle piece. So that's the teacher. She's playing her piano. Again, bad teacher, but definitely admire her commitment to her craft. So there's a little stool out there. There's a crank and a lever that you can rotate. There's a drawbridge up there, and there's a shaft all the way at the end. Clearly, you have to rotate this crank, lowering the drawbridge, allowing both of you to get through. But you have to do it while the teacher is playing her music, because that's when she's distracted and you can make sound without her finding out. So you have to time your movements according to her music, and then completely freeze. I mean completely, not a squeak, when she has paused. And when you're moving this across the room, you have to move it out of that bright spot. Because that well-lit area represents the parts where she can actually hear. Oh god, that's it. Well, shit, that's terrifying. Run, Mono, run! Go faster! Oh my god, this teacher is out of control. Oh no, oh no, oh no, she's gonna get you, she's gonna get you, run! Yeah, no, go! Run! Alright, they made it. They're safe. Yep, the teacher can just make her head slide back in. Okay, that was legit terrifying. That's the most like I already know what's gonna happen, but like it gets me every time. They're officially free from the teacher's lair, but there's a lot more creepy things coming up. Like the chapter 3 is the most terrifying chapter for me. Even though the teacher is the most terrifying antagonist, I think the chapter 3 has some of the most challenging components in the game. Alright, so this doesn't seem like a big deal. You just have to jump off of this trash can onto that platform over there, but it took me quite some time out there. So you have to push the trash can all the way back, slamming the door shut, then pull it up ahead over here, and then move it all the way to the right. And that will give you enough space to sort of jump over and grab that ledge. Alright, and that little code that you see lying down on the ground, yep, that's Six's distinctive yellow raincoat from part 1. And this is the point where we realize that Mona's partner is in fact Six herself. Though at this point we don't know why she doesn't have her raincoat at the very beginning of the game, and why she only finds it now. And with that, we have just finished the school. Thanks for watching.